Okay, all right. So our first affirmation card is: the body benefits from movement and the mind benefits from stillness. So I guess, we spend a lot of time inside at our computers, and I am in a Donothon, so I'm not the person to be saying this. But I think that it is very good for you to go out and touch the grass, and that your body would appreciate a little bit of sunlight on its skin sometimes. And I am the worst critic for this, because I today woke up and looked outside, and I was like, I felt a little bit like the man in that GIF. You know, the one where the guy is standing at his window and he just has his hand on the window with the shutters drawn. I felt a little bit like that today, because it was so nice outside today, and I really actually did think I wanted to go out into it. But luckily for me, by the time I was thinking, maybe I'll take an hour to go outside, maybe I'll stop playing Rat Shaker or whatever, and I'll go outside for an hour, it got cloudy, so I didn't have to worry about it anymore. But I do hope that you can come to my stream and just relax and not worry anything, but that you also get outside a little bit and have a little bit of fresh air from time to time. I'm not very good at that, but maybe you'll be better at it than me. But life is short. You gotta live it. Love is rare. You gotta grab it. Anger is bad. You gotta dump it. Fear is awful, but you gotta face it. Memory is sweet, so you gotta cherish it. I think one of the other things I was thinking the other day was like, why when I went to, this is not like, I feel like doing a words of affirmation thing. It's kind of a weird thing to say, but I actually felt like I had always been really reluctant to fire a gun. All right, I know this is kind of a weird topic to talk about when we're having soft, comfy little vibe time, but I was really reluctant to want to shoot a gun, because I guess for me, it was always something that I thought was kind of a little bit scary, right? And I never want to live my life with fear. I never want to live my life being afraid of something or making choices about things in my life because I'm scared. You know what I mean? And so I decided to do it because I don't want to live a life that's based on fear. And I think that, a lot of people in the chat probably resonate with that. There's lots of things that we don't want to do because we're scared, Don't want to change jobs because this one's comfy and I'm scared what a new job would look like. Or, don't want to rock the boat in this friend situation because I'm too scared of what would happen if, they went away or something like that. And I think that it's good to be scared about things. But I think if we let that fear make decisions for us, then it ends up being something that we'll regret in the long run. So I hope that you never let fear rule your life or make decisions for you, if that makes sense. But I find that most things in my life that I thought were scary, when I gave them a try, it ended up being one of the best things that I ever did. So, never be scared to go and live your dreams, or never be too scared to start streaming because, what if you don't do well? I mean, what if you do well? Never be scared to, I'm not going to take that degree because I'm not smart enough to pass the course. What if you are smart enough to pass the course? Literally anything that you want to do is within your reach. And I know if it's you, uniquely you, if you're one of my viewers, for sure it's something that you'll be able to do. Self-doubt is a pain. I have it all the time. Like right now. Like I was thinking, am I going to be able to do like a self-affirmations thing? Do I even know how to do that? And I feel like I could have just said, and I almost just said, it's okay. We can do it another day. We don't have to do it now. Like it could be another time. Like it doesn't have to be now. Like it's too hard. I don't think I know the right things to say. But then, I don't know, I remembered I had these cards, and I just was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it anyway. And so I did it, and now we're having this nice little chill moment together. And I think that ultimately that was like a really good thing that I did it, and didn't let my worries about whether it was going to be good or not make that decision for me, if that makes sense. I think it's good that I didn't let the fear of how it was going to go make that decision for me, because in the end, we're having a really nice time together, and I'm glad that I did decide to do it. And that's kind of why you're going to find this out about me eventually anyway, so I might as well tell you. Nyan. It's kind of why I put a lot of things on the subathon. Sometimes I'll put stuff on the subathon that are literally just things that I wanted to do, but I was a little bit too scared to do. And then if I do it behind the subathon, well then, I have to do it. It's part of the subathon. There's really nothing I can do. I'm just going to have to do it, is how I kind of feel, if that makes sense. I kind of put myself in a bind, so I have to do it. But yeah, I think it's easy to be too caught up in the small details. And sometimes it's better just to be in the moment and just focus on having fun. I think every choice you make is the right choice as long as you make it the right choice. And that's like my life motto, It's easier to brush yourself off, and it's hard to do it to others. That's for sure true. It's easy for me to tell you, just do it, just live your dream, and it's a lot harder for me to do it. And if you knew the conversations that I had with Ruby and Uni, they call me an anxious little bird. They say that I think too much about the small details, and that I get too caught up in the what could happen instead of the what could happen in a negative way instead of what could happen in a really positive way. And so it's nice to have friends that'll remind you of that sometimes, because it's really, really easy to talk yourself out of living your own life. I think that's a really easy thing to do. And it's something that I just want to make sure that I never allow myself to do. So I always try to put myself into situations like these where I just have to make the best choices for myself. Advice is very easy to give, but it's hard to enact. I know, I'm one of my worst enemies. Comparing yourself to others ends up making yourself dig a hole a bit deeper. So that's something that when I first started, I really, really struggled with, was the wanting to compare with other people, this person's doing so well, and I want to do as well as they're doing. So I'm going to have to, what's so different? How come when they do this, they get this result, but when I do this, I get this result, and things like that. But I think that the kindest thing you can do to yourself is not compare yourself to other people, and accept that you are your own unique and wonderful person, and that certainly there's somebody out there thinking about you, or even the same people that you're thinking about might be thinking about you too at the exact same time, and that life isn't really a race, and that if you go at your own pace, you're going to be happier. And if your goal in life is to, be the biggest or the strongest or the best, I think you're always going to kind of dig yourself into a hole of competing with this version of yourself that will never exist. And so you'll never be able to match up to this standard that you make for yourself. Better would just be to accept the you that exists in this moment right now, and find a place in your life where that can have value, or where that can be its own unique and wonderful, person or entity. So I try to remind myself that when I'm comparing, that, we're not always playing the same game, and that it's unfair to put yourself in a box like that. And that even if maybe I'm not the best, there's lots of things. I'm not going to list them, because then it's going to put a target on my back, and that it's going to make me feel negative about myself. But maybe I'm not the best at everything that I really want to be the best at. And maybe some days I do things better than other days. And maybe there were circumstances that made that so. But I'm always able to grow. I'm always able to be a better person. And if every day I'm trying to be better, and if every day I'm trying to make the people around me happy, or make the world around me a better place, then I have a unique value to this planet or this universe, this galaxy, wherever it may be, that only I can share, and a perspective that only I can bring as a unique person living in this time and in this space. And so I hope for you too is that you can recognize that even if there's things about yourself that you want to change, that there's also a lot of things about yourself that I would never want you to change. And that the people around you really value about you, even if, for example, I'm the best burper on the planet. There is no one who burps better than me. And for a long time, I thought that was something that I should keep to myself and I should hide. And maybe I should keep that to myself. Maybe I should hide that part of myself. But it makes people laugh and it makes people smile, so it can't be bad, right? That's so exhausting, though. Why not just exist for the sake of existing? That's fine, too. That's all anyone needs to do, right? I just need to live and live to live and move past the idea that everyone needs to do something. That's true. I think it all depends on your mindset and how you want to live your life. I don't think that everyone needs to try to aspire to be some sort of saint. I just think that as long as you're living for your own happiness, then you're living the right way. If you're not happy, though, I do think that maybe there's some things in your life that you can move or change that could make you happy, but you don't need to live for others. You just need to live for yourself. I just think that things were easier before. There was such a race to compete with other people. I feel like you just need to take a minute and slow down and just kind of focus on what's important. You don't need to be trying to one-up other people or comparing yourself. You just need to recognize that you yourself are enough. What is happiness if not a social construct, though? The idea that people need to do something to be happy or be something to be happy is morally bankrupt. King Swipe bringing some tough attitude to our little ASMR circle. I mean, I don't think that happiness is something that you can buy or put a price on, but I definitely think that happiness has its own value and has a right to be pursued, and that the pursuit of happiness is not something foolish or morally bankrupt. I think that it's fine to exist and do whatever it is that happiness means to you, to do whatever it is that you want to do in your life, whether that's void of happiness or full of happiness, and that happiness certainly is a social construct. I wouldn't say I get happiness from buying a pair of jeans or going to the store, but I do think that everybody should be trying to find a calm or a peace of mind, or at least trying to live in a way that gives them some sense of satisfaction in one form or another. But what that means to you is up to you. Happiness is being satisfied with oneself. And I think that you can do that in many, many different ways. And especially if you can do that without sacrificing the happiness of someone else. Okay, I'm going to pull another card. One small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. I agree with this one. I think this one is really true. I think that if you set yourself up to have a bad time, you're gonna have a bad time. I really do. I am a bad culprit of this. My dad used to say this to me all the time. If you're determined to have a bad time, you're gonna have a bad time. If you've already decided the outcome of something, that you're not leaving space in the universe for that to change. You're not leaving space for yourself to have a good time if you've already anticipated that the outcome is automatically going to be negative. And sometimes just thinking positively can make things ultimately feel better for you in the long run, especially on a day-by-day basis. Let me tell you something about me. I think you already know this about me in a little bit, but I used to be a planner. I planned for everything. If you were going on a trip with me, I was the kind of person who would be like, oh, we have to wake up at 7:30 to catch the bus at 7:45 to go to the food spot at 9:15 because it gets busy by 9:30, and then we have to get this cake because it's the number one cake, it's the number one thing the shop sells, and after we have the cake we have to rush, we're gonna have to try to catch this train so that we can make it to this thing, so that we can do this thing, so that we can do that thing. And oh my God, was I miserable. I thought by planning my day and setting everything up, I would be having the best day ever, and that by having the best cake and by having the, best trip and seeing all of the things that I wanted to see, that was going to give me happiness, and that's how I was going to be happy. But during COVID, I actually had a trip planned, and I spent a long, long time planning this trip. I spent so much time planning this trip. Everything was planned. I had coupons, I had Groupons, I had everything, to a T. I had this trip planned out. And then what happened? It got canceled on my way. Everything got canceled. And I remember thinking, woe is me. Everybody was going through so much, during then. I'm not going to say feel bad for me, my canceled plan. But it really gave me a new perspective on those kind of things. And you know what I don't do anymore? I'm actually so bad. I don't plan anything. Nothing. I don't plan jack. I don't plan anything now. And you know what I feel? Happy. I feel so much happier now because I used to plan these things. And so, okay, imagine if you plan your day and you have to wake up early and you have to rush so that you can get there, so you can be the first in line to get the cake that you want. But, because you did all the research and you get there, the cake's already sold out. But you woke up early and now the cake's not even there. And your whole day's ruined because you were like, there was this thing that I really wanted and now I'm not going to get it. Instead, I just don't plan for anything. And so when I show up at the shop and they have a cake and it looks good and I eat it and it tastes good, it's great. I don't worry about anything. I used to go to theme parks and be like, okay, we have to get there at this time so we can maximize the amount of rides we go on. I now ride 2 rides or 1 ride, and maybe I'll spend the rest of the day just eating churros. And I'm happy. I'm happy about that. I don't need to have everything to be happy. If you have no expectations, you can't really be let down. If you live in the moment, you take the pressure off of every moment being the best or being amazing, and you can just feel happy just being there. You can define your own successes. What are my goals and aspirations? Oh, so many. Too many. Entirely too many. But, one day I want to have my own solo live. One day, I'd love if I would be able to be a part of something bigger. I'd love to do a voice in a video game. I think that would be pretty cool. Oh gosh, I would really like to learn how to draw better. I shouldn't say learn how to draw better. I would really love some more time to practice. I'd love to be a full-time streamer so that I can devote my days to making other people happy instead of pushing papers around an office, There's lots of things that I'd love to do. But I am happy in this moment now. I stopped aggressively planning a long time ago, and it's just so much better. I want you guys to take a deep breath. Take whatever you're thinking about that's giving you stress. Take whatever situation that's going on with you that you can't help. There's nothing you can do about it. And you just have to chill. And you just have to be okay with it, okay? So I want you to take that thought, and I want you to take a big, big, deep breath. Okay? And I want you to let it out with this magic phrase, all right? Deep breath. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. It is stupid for you to think that you have any control over the things that destiny has defined for you. Sometimes things just suck, and there's nothing you can do about it. And to those moments, I just say, Que sera, sera. C'est la vie. Micah. You just gotta let it go. It is what it is. You can't change anything about it. People say this is nihilistic, and it's not very positive. But I think one of the most positive things I've ever seen, I guess in the headspace, is the meme of sometimes you just gotta say the day is fucked, and there's nothing you can do and nothing you can say that'll make it better. So just go to bed, go home, lie down, do something you like, and tomorrow will be better. And even if it's not better, it won't be forever. So sometimes you just have to admit that the day is well and truly fucked, and there's nothing you can do about it. And somehow, in some way, that was very freeing to me, because it's you can't always get your way. But it makes when you do a whole lot sweeter. And there's no use worrying about things that you have no control over. Just live in the moment, which goes to our next card that says, you cannot breathe deeply and worry at the same time. Let's try it. Breathe in for 5 seconds and breathe out for 10 seconds. Ooh, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. Breathe in for 5, then breathe out for 10. Let's see how it works. Let's see if that makes us feel a little bit calmer, okay? Are you guys ready? This is also a really good singing exercise, just by the way. All right, let's try it. Ready? Wait, I went ahead of time. I just really wanted to breathe. All right, you ready? It's kind of hard to breathe out for 10 seconds. All right, I'll count for you. You ready? Let's try it again. One more time. Ready? Deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And deep breath out. 2, 3, 4, 5. I know you've got more in there. 8, 9, 10. Did that feel good? I hope so. Let's do it one more time. You ready? Deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, you breathe in hard and then you exhale soft. I'm going to do one more just for me. You ready? Nothing to worry about. Pickle breath. I used to do that to my brother. I would just be like, dog time, and I'd go. Sniffa, sniffa. Because it used to annoy him. That's why I did it. That's basically why. That's why I do almost everything. I did that to my wife in the kitchen today. It's hard for me to inhale and exhale at the same time. Just try that. Slime is sniffing in my ear. I do breathing exercises to calm anxiety or anger, both strong emotions for me, with fight or flight response. I also get myself a big squishmallow to hug while I breathe. Helps a ton. Yeah, it's good. It's good to do those kind of things. Like, taking care of yourself is not a, it's not a guy thing or a girl thing or a slime thing or a human thing. It's just an everybody thing. And I think everybody deserves to have a good peace of mind and a calmness to take on the day. Speaking of, the greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. Ooh, what stressful thoughts will we decide to let go today? Acknowledge its presence, then let it go. Feel the relief of burden on your mind and shoulders. What's something that's stressing you out? What's something that you want to let go? Let's see. What's stressing me out? I'm stressed out that my job is very complicated and that for my job to go well, I have to have a lot of meetings. And because I'm having these meetings, I'm talking a lot. And by talking so much, it's making it difficult for me to stream. It's making it difficult for me to sing. It's making it difficult for me to enjoy the hobbies that I want to enjoy. But I'm doing everything in my power to make that better. And I need the job for all of my daily needs. And I need the job for my visa. So it's very much a que sera situation. And so all I can do is try my best to take care of myself and try to mitigate my stresses by identifying that it won't be forever, and that even though this is my job right now, that there are some really good parts of the job too that I am really enjoying, even though the schedule is kind of zany and my throat kind of hurts. But I think what I should let go is the expectation that I have to do music. I love doing music and I want to do music, but I have to let go the expectation that I have to do music on a time schedule that's unrealistic for me. And that I have to stream an amount that's unrealistic for somebody who has an office job. I say as I'm in a 4-year Donothon with 78 hours on the clock. But I think I need to let go of this expectation that I need to perform at a standard that is above and beyond what I have to give. And so I think that if I can just let go of that feeling of anxiety that I don't measure up, if I can't do the exact same things that my friends are able to do, then I think that I'll be able to have a less stressed time and have a more fun when it comes to my own streams. What's something you want to let go? Think about it. What can you do to make it better? And then just let it go. Easy. It's worth a lot to you, so I get that it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, the nice thing in December was that I wasn't really working, so I had like that whole month off. I got to recover my voice and I got to get back to singing. But I guess there's like this fear in my head that if I talk too much, what if I could screw up my voice forever and then I can't sing anymore? But that's not what happened to Cisse. It's not what happened to other artists that I really respect. So I don't think it'll happen to me either. I just gotta roll with the punches when it comes to that. I can make it better by not making a negative mind space. So when I interact with my family, it doesn't make me feel upset. Yeah, like if you have like a support system that it doesn't really feel like it's there for you, things that can help is just, relying on your friends, having a place where you can talk about that kind of thing, but also not expecting, again, nihilistic optimism is lowering your expectations of other people. It's going to sound bad, but you don't have a lot of control over what other people do or say or how they react or how they treat you. So having little expectation about what they're going to do opens up the opportunity for them to surprise you. I know it's not a very positive thing to say. It always irked me. There's this, oh, they're your family, so you just have to accept it. And I just feel like, that kind of thing hurts more than it helps. So, just thinking positive things, thinking about other nice things that are going to happen in your day, or, ways that you can make the interaction just a little softer for you are some things that can help. Those are words I try to live by. You can't control other people, so just do the best things for you. Nah. How would you describe your friends and family? My friends are my friends because they're people who can put up with someone who has, I wouldn't say DM phobia. I don't have DM phobia. My friends are my friends because they care about me enough to check on me. They DM me, they check on me, they worry about me. I'm the kind of person who doesn't like when people worry about them. Kinda. I don't like when people worry about me. But then in reality, when it happens, it does feel pretty good. It feels nice to be worried about. It feels nice to have people care about you and check in on, see if things are going well and see if things are going poorly, it's nice to have that kind of people in your life. I don't like to worry people because I hate being a burden. And, with my family too, growing up, I was pretty withdrawn. I don't think I ever really gave my family a chance to get to know me. I do wish that they knew me a little better than they know me. But I also didn't really give them that chance to get to know me. Because I kind of just didn't think they would ever understand me. And when they teased me, I took it really personally. I have a little bit of a problem with people worrying about me because I'm not used to it. I'm not used to people worrying about me because my family didn't really worry about me because I trained them. So when people worry about me, it makes me feel weird because I'm not used to it. So, yeah. I've always been really fiercely independent, but my friends that I have now, they actually worry about me and they actually take care of me. And when I tell them not to worry about me, they slap me or hit me with the chancla, or they shake me until I accept it, or they put me in a headlock until I say that it's okay for them to worry about me. And so it's a little bit of aggressive love, but it's not something that I'm used to, and it's something that I guess I kind of like, and I'm just discovering that about myself. I had a lot of people that I thought were my friends over the years. I'm not saying they weren't my friends, but I guess it was different. we were always friends because like, oh, you know, we were in the same fandom. It always was a little bit superficial. And I feel like the friends that I have right now are just really, they're unlike any friends I ever had before. It's a friendship that's not built on like vapid consumerism. It's a friendship that's not built on like, you know, doing things for each other or like needing each other's support to get through something. You know, it's just, we're just there for each other because we want to be there for each other, and we have the emotional bandwidth to take care of each other. And so it's been really nice to have these kind of friends, you know, who take care of me. That's my chosen family. But I like my family, obviously, you know, my mom and my dad and, you know, my brother and everybody, but it's different. I wouldn't have recognized this kind of relationship a year ago. In fact, I might have thought you were a little silly for even suggesting it, but I have it now. And I have to say, it feels pretty dang nice. I think you might have still said you didn't have Japanese friends a year ago. I didn't have friends a year ago. I can't let my family know who I am. They're bigoted against who I am, so they don't know. That's really tough. I think that there is this sort of toxic mentality that a lot of people have about family. Family are the people who birthed you, or family are the people who are your blood or whatever else. But I think that sometimes family is there to teach us lessons about ourselves that other people couldn't, and whether that's a positive lesson or a negative lesson, in many cases I think it can be a really negative lesson, is that your family teaches you about the people you don't want to be, or they teach you how to cope with those, you know, difficult people you're going to run into in your life, and like how to make the most out of situations that aren't good for us, right? But I think it's like the best thing about becoming an adult is being able to make a new family out of friendships and people who actually care about you and resonate with you, and who can see you as the person that you are or want to be, and not as this image that people have in their head about you that they've just created from the day you were born, knowing nothing about you, knowing nothing about the person that you would become. And so I think it's really important to accept that your family might be who they are, but that doesn't define you. And that even if you can't be fully open with your family in the way that you want, you don't need to give them that much mental plateau where it's doing you harm. That there's other people out there who can give you that sort of love and companionship that you deserve, that you absolutely deserve. Everyone deserves to feel loved and important. And I hope that in a small way you can find that here and in the community and with us. But in a larger way, I hope that one day you find your people. That's how I feel about that. And now I'm feeling anxious about all the yapping. I'm feeling anxious about all the yapping. So I'm going to take a deep breath. And just do a little stretch. Acknowledgement from family is not all that important in the grand scheme of things when it's rejection. Embrace the love you received and filter out the negatives. It can be hard to do. You know, everyone wants their family to like them. Everybody wants their family to accept them and, you know, see them as the person that they are. But, you know, family doesn't have to be the people that you're born into. That's all. There's an old saying that the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. The vibe that is, yeah, that's the vibe. Yeah. No matter what, there are people out there who will love you and accept you for who you are. Maybe you haven't found them yet, but they're out there and they're waiting for you. So grab your happiness. Seize your happiness. I know you can do it. I know you can. If I can do it, you can do it. It took me a while, but I did it. And now I just feel so much lighter. I feel so much happier. I feel so, なんていうか, I just feel like supported in a way that I never did. And I didn't know that I could ever accept this kind of love or support from other people. But it's been an interesting year, for sure. Many pickles have come together here with Pia because this is a safe place with many pickles who would love and hope for the best for each other. Yeah, even if we can't see each other, doesn't mean we can't make ourselves felt. It doesn't matter where you came from. All that matters is that we're all pickles in the end. We're all pickles. We're pickles. We're pickles from the jar to the grave. We'll always be pickles with each other. What do we want to say? The brine of the jar is thicker than the water of the womb. That's going to be our new version of it. The family you pick is better than the family you're born with. Because I have family who ain't blood, and blood that ain't family. True, true. I'm painfully honest. It's to my own detriment that I am so honest. But I just feel like, what's the point in like keeping it to yourself? I think if you got beef, you should just sort out your beef in the cafeteria. Don't bring that to the yard. You know, sort out the beef where it happens. And just always have open lines of communication, because I feel like every relationship boils down to communication. And if you let it slip, that's usually where the relationship will end. You know, whether that's friendly, family, romantic, whatever it is. Sort out the beef before it rots. I tend to ask a lot of times people, I ask them like, oh, was that okay? I'm sorry if like that came on too strong, or like, you know, I only mentioned it because I was worried about you, or I'm sorry that, or like, you know, I hate to say I'm sorry, but I appreciate that you heard me out when I was feeling so upset about X situation or whatever, you know, just like acknowledging the situation instead of dancing around it, because I found that running from things that happen to you or around you usually will just end up making things worse. So always being upfront and honest. Communication can open yourself to new perspectives. So true. And that's another thing too, is that you can be looking at something and think, okay, perfect example. You see an orb on the screen. Who's that Pokemon? The person next to you is like, oh, it's definitely Voltorb. And then you're thinking, no, it's definitely Jigglypuff. And then it appears and it was actually just Pikachu's ass. And you're like, what the fuck? Two people can be experiencing the same thing at the same time and experiencing it in entirely different ways. Some things that you think were so freaking awesome, the person next to you might be like, this was the worst experience for me. And so being open and communicating about that things, yeah, relativity. Everything is relative. And so being open about your experiences with other people can open up lines of communication that you did not know. And you can experience things in different ways. You can experience things 2 times even through another person's lens. So, as Obi-Wan once said, Luke, you'll find many of the truths we cling to depend greatly on our own point of view. So true. I hope that we can end the affirmations on the last card. There's actually like 80 of these, but this is going to be the last card. We need to do a better job of putting ourselves higher on our own to-do list. What have you been avoiding on your personal to-do list? Take a break, spend more time with loved ones, work smarter, not higher. Today, try to prioritize one of them. Take care of yourself. If you have been enjoying this Donathon and you've been thinking, man, I am stinky, I should take a shower, go take that shower. If you're thinking, oh, you know, but I want to be here, I want to help, you know, so I'm not going to go and make dinner. Go make dinner. Life's too short not to go have a good meal, okay? So please make sure you take care of yourself today. Do one thing for yourself today that is taking care of your body or your mind or your spirit, okay? And that's all I can ask of you, is that a healthy pickle is a happy pea, and a happy pea is a healthy pickle. So let's make sure we make the most of our time with each other. That's the best advice so far. Self-care is so hard. Sometimes you just gotta treat yourself. You know, sometimes you just gotta throw away all the other things you gotta do today, and you just gotta treat yourself, you know? So make sure today you treat yourself extra nice. Speaking of taking care of yourself and treating yourself, I should probably get resting soon. Watching Pia is taking care of myself. Well, you bunch of goofy goobers. All you a bunch of goofy goobers. And guys are a bunch of goofs. Don't say cute stuff to me. Don't say cute stuff to me. This is one thing that I always like about you. You oshi us just as much as we oshi you. Of course I am. Of course I'm gonna Oshi you. You're my one and only pickle. Your happiness is my happiness. I truly care about your successes. I want to be there to support you in your failures. So, as long as you're here, I'll be here to support you. So stop saying things that are going to make me blush like this, you stupid, you dummy, you baka. I can't do self-affirmations anymore. The brat is coming back. The brat is coming back. I better stop her before she screams into the ASMR mic. She coming back. You can't stop her. She's unstoppable. She's a force to be reckoned with.